Hello and welcome to the Harry Thomas Show, This Week in Review. I'm your host, Harry Thomas, and this is Sunday, already, January 23rd, 2005. This is the very first show, and we'd like to welcome you. And we have a very special guest today, Miss Lee. Miss Lee is a member of the People for a Better Future. Welcome to our Lee.
Thank you very much, Harry Thomas. And I'm very excited about launching the PFABF, as I'm sure you are too.
Yes, indeed. I would like to inform listeners right now that you and I are founding members of People for a Better Future. Our new website is harrythomas.nzfreeservers.com. And the email address for this website and for this show is harrybna@netzero.com. That's harrybna@netzero.com. Tara, why don't you tell us a little bit more about People for a Better Future?
I will, because I want people to contact us, and they need to know why. And first, let us say that we are nonpartisan. We don't care who you are, where you're from, how much money you make, how much money you don't make. This site is for everybody that wants to be informed. We want to provide you with information that we've received, information that we've gotten from Reuters, AP, MSNBC, some stuff maybe you've only heard once and then the news just lets it go away. We're anti-war and we're definitely anti-lie, and that's a lot what we're about, is exposing the lies.
Basically, we are people who are fed up with the direction that the world is going. And it's more and more obvious of what's been going on in America and around the world, especially with this week's top story, the second inauguration of Lord Bush.
Yeah, that's the big one this week, that's for sure.
And I was watching this on C-SPAN, and thank God for C-SPAN, because, they show the coverage. And you're watching the coverage, and they were the only network that showed the protest coverage.
Yes.
And they showed the protesters at the podium. And what I do like about C-SPAN is there's no commentators putting their spin on it. And that's a lot of what's going on in America today. Mainstream media is spin everywhere.
Well, you were telling me that you were flipping around to a lot of the channels, and all the newscasts were saying the same thing, like they were all handed the same script at the beginning. This is, when to say this, and this is when to say this. And
it was all about how great Bush is and how, great everything is. And then this is the spin that has been put on things, It's amazing. It's ridiculous, folks. And I'll tell you what, I was sitting there watching it, and the protesters, hundreds of thousands of protesters down there.
From every walk of life.
In fact, there was protests going on all over the world, but especially right down there at the Inauguration in Washington, D.C., they'd be coming around the corner of the parade, and you would hear the jeers and the booing and the signs. And it was unbelievable. And then I flick over to ABC and CBS, and you'll see them coming around the corner, and you'll hear the jeers, and then all of a sudden, overwhelming applause drowns out all the protesting jeers. And then right at that moment, I flick back to C-SPAN, and there's no applause, just jeers, and I'm thinking, it's the same video feed, they must have a different audio feed. And, and I was talking to people that it's all on the same feed, folks. What's going on here?
Well, what are you saying? Are you saying that possibly the controlled media may have overlapped all the jeering with applause?
Well, I think that's certainly something that should be looked into, because I've seen it with my own eyes. And another thing at the inauguration, here's out of Washington, Reuters, Thursday, January 20th, the story comes out. Police used pepper spray at Bush inauguration. Police pepper sprayed to disperse demonstrators who hurled debris and tried to break through a security fence, keeping protesters away from President Bush's inaugural parade on Thursday. Several dozen protesters thronged through the security fence, lobbing bottles, trash, snowballs at police. Now, this says here this happened on Thursday. Now, we've seen on Friday an enormous amount of pepper spray being sprayed and dispersed into a crowd of hundreds of people.
Yes, the pictures that we actually have on our website actually, I believe, does show the pepper spray. It looks like it's coming out of fire hoses. These are not little personal devices meant to squirt a little into the eyes of an individual. These are fire hoses full of pepper spray being sprayed indiscriminately into a crowd. They don't care who they're hitting. They're just spraying it on the people. If you were unlucky enough to be on that corner, you got pepper sprayed. It didn't matter if you weren't throwing anything or you weren't saying anything. But the terrible thing is that the protesters were attempted to be kept so far apart. It is our constitutional right to protest the government. If we're not happy, we have every right to say so. And these police officers were attempting to stop the protesters, and that's unconstitutional.
Well, what we've seen now is a lot of spin these days that, if you speak out, against the government in any way, you're labeled a terrorist, anti-American, you're attacked publicly. I've watched different patriots who speak out around the world, Howard Zinn, go on radio shows and just be degraded. And these are patriotic people, folks. Don't let the media fool you. There's thousands and actually millions of us. And we really are fed up. And our website and our organization itself is we are against the Project for the New American Century. And their website is